What's good, fam? Drake just proved that being a global ambassador is just a fancy way of saying you paid for a front row seat to watch someone else work. We are deep in the 2026 World Cup, and the self-proclaimed King of the Six is out here acting like a mascot while everyone else gets the spotlight. Toronto is the center of the world right now, but Drake is just doing TikTok dances in the stands like a fan who is happy he got past security. It is a straight up humiliation because he claims to run the city, but he cannot even get a performance slot on the biggest stage. On July 2nd of 2026, the internet called him at Toronto Stadium during the Portugal and Croatia match, trying to go viral by doing the Sayu celebration. Seeing him mimic Cristiano Ronaldo was cringy as fuck because he is officially a spectator in his own house while the real talent is on the grass. 2 days after that embarrassment, he made it even weirder by putting a $1 bet on Morocco to beat Canada on July 4th. He was clearly trying to put that Drake curse on his own country to help his team win, but the whole move felt desperate and cheap. This is a man who used to post $1 million betting slips like they were nothing, and now he is playing with pocket change just to get some attention. It is a nasty look for a guy who built his whole brand on being the biggest and baddest in the room. The reality is that FIFA is happy to use him for social media clicks, but they are keeping him away from the microphone to protect their brand from the Kendrick Lamar fallout. They want the OVO logo in the VIP section for the vibes, but they will not let him touch the broadcast because his name is too messy for corporate sponsors. The situation went from a quiet snub to a public execution on July 8th when FIFA and Global Citizen announced the halftime show lineup. They confirmed the July 19th performance at MetLife Stadium will feature Madonna, Shakira, BTS, and Justin Bieber. This announcement was a massive grenade that destroyed any hope that Drake would represent Canada on the world stage. Seeing Justin Bieber take that Canadian slot is a direct hit that Drake might never recover from. For years, Drake acted like he was the most important artist in North America, but FIFA called the pop star instead of the rapper. This is not about a scheduling conflict because it shows that the toxicity from that 2024 beef made Drake a liability that FIFA will not touch. The global audience for a World Cup final reaches billions of people, and an organization like FIFA needs a clean environment for their partners. Drake is a walking magnet for drama who is still haunted by the shadow of Kendrick Lamar, so FIFA is choosing the safe aesthetic of Global Citizen over rap world chaos. Justin Bieber is a predictable choice who brings a massive audience without the risk of a diss track or a culture war starting during the set. By picking the Avengers of pop music, FIFA is telling the world they have no interest in the baggage Drake is carrying. It is a massive demotion for the boy because he went from the guy everyone wanted to be around to the guy sitting next to the suits. In 2026, being an ambassador just means you have a great view of someone else doing your dream job. Looking back at how the FIFA president used to hype Drake makes this whole downfall seem even more embarrassing for the OVO camp. On February 4th, in 2024, Drake sat with Gianni Infantino to push Toronto as a host city while selling the vision of his home as the ultimate cultural hub. He was acting like the unofficial mayor of the tournament because Infantino needed that massive social media reach to make soccer look cool in North America. The hype reached a peak in March of 2025 when Infantino publicly suggested a rivalry performance between Drake and Kendrick Lamar that would have matched the Super Bowl energy. The soccer world thought they were getting the biggest grudge match in music history on their stage, and Drake clearly believed his invitation was a done deal. Everything changed once the Kendrick beef played out and the world watched Drake get dismantled in front of everyone. The pivot away from Drake became undeniable by May 13th of 2026 when the official lineup reveals finally dropped and his name was nowhere to be found. The most powerful man in soccer clearly realized that the feud turned Drake into a massive liability for a family-friendly global final. FIFA used him to sell the cool factor during the planning phase when they needed to build buzz, but they discarded him once the corporate stakes became real. The truth is that Drake was never a real partner to these executives, since he was just a tool used to bridge the gap between European soccer and urban culture. Once they had the host cities locked in and the ticket sales moving, they did not need the messy drama of the OVO camp anymore. Before we move on and see how Drake tried to force his way back with that Iceman triple album, tell me what y'all think. Was he really a liability for the World Cup, or did FIFA just use him for the culture points and dip? Tell me in the comments. No cap. While you at it, like and subscribe. Let's continue. Drake attempted to force his way back into the sports conversation by dropping his triple album called Iceman on May 15th of 2026. He filled the tracks with name drops for legends like Luis Enrique and LeBron James while trying to create a soundtrack for a tournament that excluded him. Even though the album did numbers and his fans were streaming it heavy, the major gatekeepers in the industry were not buying the narrative he was selling. The most disrespectful part of the rollout was Drake being left off the EA Sports FC 26 soundtrack, which is basically the holy grail for soccer music. Instead of the OVO captain, the game featured artists like Young Miko and Ed Sheeran, which proves the corporate world is moving in a different direction. Desperation hit a new high when fake anthems like The Last Dance started circulating online, with people claiming it featured Shakira. Fans were excited for about 5 minutes until the whole thing was debunked as a collection of AI-generated projects because no major artists are checking for Drake right now. The Iceman rollout was clearly designed to sync up with the World Cup buzz, but institutions like FIFA and EA Sports are actively rejecting his attempts to participate. It is a harsh reality for a man who used to dictate what was hot in the sports world, but his brand is no longer trusted. He is trying to buy his way back into the culture with these sports references, and it is just not working because the world has moved on. The gatekeepers have slammed the door shut, and Drake is left on the outside looking in while his peers take the global spotlight he thought he owned. We are basically watching a live cultural eviction happen in real time as a direct consequence of the war he lost back in 2024. Drake used to be the default choice for any event that needed to feel global and expensive, but the Kendrick Lamar beef changed his fundamental chemistry. While Kendrick is out here securing the Super Bowl and being treated like a national treasure, Drake is reduced to cheering in the stands like a super fan. It is a massive fall from grace to go from being the headliner to being an unpaid mascot who only provides a few seconds of footage. The corporate world has seen the receipts, and they have decided that Kendrick is the king of the culture, while Drake is just a high-maintenance liability. This trend is going to keep rolling because that loser narrative from the 2024 battle is stuck to his legacy like glue. Huge organizations like FIFA are not about to debate the details of a rap beef when they have billions of dollars in sponsorship money on the line. They look at a guy who got publicly dismantled and decide to move on to someone who does not bring a mountain of baggage to the table. It is clear that Drake is going to stay in the audience at every major event until he gets rid of the stink of that defeat, but that might never happen. He is trapped in a loop of trying to prove he is still that guy while the rest of the world treats him like a legacy act who is past his prime. That $1 Morocco bet is the perfect metaphor for exactly where his career sits right now. Playing it safe is his new routine because he knows the massive checks are going to the people who actually represent the culture. It is a sad look for a man who used to brag about his wealth in every verse, and now he is making joke bets for a single buck to get a headline. Basically, he is playing for pennies while his rivals are out there winning championship rings. The corporate gatekeepers have signaled that they are finished with his brand of toxicity, and no amount of sports albums or viral dances will change that fact. The final takeaway is savage because being a global ambassador for the World Cup in 2026 is just a participation trophy. It is the only thing left for a rapper who cannot get a performance slot. Watching Justin Bieber and BTS do the job you were promised 2 years ago is the reality of your front row seat. Drake is learning the hard way that once you lose your grip on the culture, even the most powerful men in soccer will stop returning your calls. Before we see how Drake tries to spin this embarrassment on his next Instagram story, tell me what you think about this situation. Tell me if Drake is officially finished as a global headliner or if this is just a temporary timeout for the boy. Tell me in the comments, no cap, and while you are at it, make sure to like and subscribe so we can keep it moving forward.